Oh hi there! Digibit Gaming now has merch! Be much gooder better with your very own Digibit hoodies, coffee mug, and shirts. Check out the Digibit collection on No Name Nerd using the link in the video description. Also, be sure to use discount code DigibitCurtis to receive 10% off your order. Let's get nerdy! Okay, so many times I've been on the hunt looking around yard sales, like Goodwills, things like that, and a few years back I'd see something like this console here and I would think, man, that thing is completely nasty, like I don't even want to touch it, obviously I'm not going to buy it. Well, truth be told, you can't judge a book by its cover. A lot of times these are really good systems. They just need to be tore down and cleaned up and they'll be like brand new. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. I am gonna show you kind of not a how to tear down this particular system, but a way to kind of incorporate this into any console where you can take these basic tools, scrub it down, and have a really nice looking console at the end of the day. I do want to give a big shout out to Game Junkies here in Roanoke. They actually provided 3 consoles. I'm going to use this PlayStation for this video, but I'm going to use the other 2 consoles for something pretty neat coming up here in the future where I'm going to dive a little more in depth about a particular procedure. Now, with that being said, first thing we need to do is look up a good guide. If you've done a lot of this kind of stuff before, you can generally look at a system and figure out how to tear it down. However, I like to use stuff like iFixit's guides. They have all kinds of consoles and TVs and iPads and computers, and they have a really nice comprehensive teardown of how to pull these consoles apart. So, grab your guide, your phone, all that good stuff, and now we have a nice little how-to here. So first things first, we need to flip this upside down and begin pulling out these 6 screws here. So that'll be real easy. I'm using an iFixit kit and the iFixit guide. However, this is not a iFixit sponsored thing. Truth be told, they probably have 0 idea who I am. Nor do they probably care. I'm a really small fish. But anyway, so I'm gonna remove these real quick. It's only gonna be a second for you because of the magic of editing. But for me, this should only take, 30, 45 seconds. Okay, now that we got those screws out, we should technically be able to kind of take this, pry it apart a little bit. You want to be a little gentle because plastic does get rather brittle over time. Then we can just take this, flip it up, and now we have access to the inside. So I'm going to set this off to the side. We're going to do some stuff with this later. I'm going to finish tearing down all of the board, or tear the board out, the optical drive, all that good stuff. So, according to the guide, alright, so cool thing is now we've got our 2 plastic pieces. This is the main thing we are covering in this video. So this one is completely tore down. It's ready to go. I'm gonna set it off to the side. we gotta do just a little more work to this one. So essentially I want to, ooh yeah, there's all kinds of little spider webs in here. I want to tear all of the lid, the buttons, everything out of here. I want it all gone. And then, whoo, woohoo! Take this little spring, set it off to the side, and now we are good to mix up our solution to clean this. The way I normally start is just with a little bit of Dawn dish soap and some water. So I'm gonna go prepare that real quick and I'll be right back. All right, so I got the soapy water here. Some of the things you're gonna need, I like using a little dish scrubby thing. This really helps when you have like a big surface area. You don't want the bristles to be too hard, otherwise you'll end up with like swirls in the plastic. Next thing you'll want is a handy dandy little toothbrush. Make sure you haven't used this before. Totally not speaking from experience, but it will leave toothpaste residue on whatever you clean. I'm saving this for the circuit boards, just because it's brand new. I'm not gonna leave any weird residue. Next thing you might need is some Goo Gone and paper towels and isopropyl alcohol. So the latter is for cleaning the circuit board. You'll want to use isopropyl alcohol because it will evaporate and not leave moisture in the board or on vital components. The Goo Gone is for really stuck on stuff, like whatever this smear is. That might be poop, it might be chewing gum, I don't know. But anyway, so like the little buttons and whatnot, I just go ahead and like toss them on in there. Let them soak along with these little brackets, all that good stuff. Yeah. So let me make sure that's everything. And I forgot to take the open button out. I knew there was a button missing. Boop. And throw that in. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the bottom tray, and basically like you just take it and submerge it. Get the soapy water in there. You might take your brush and like make absolute sure you got everything mixed really well. And then yeah, I just like using little circular motions. I went ahead and moved the PCBs out of the way so that way I didn't have any chance of getting water on them. Because just in case you didn't know, water and electrical components do not mix. So yeah, be sure to get all the little cracks and crevices and stuff like that. Dip your brush, make sure you keep it clean, and you just kind of rinse and repeat. So I'm not gonna bore you to tears, I'm just gonna kind of montage this. Okay, so that is basically part one of the whole cleaning procedure. Essentially, after you do this, you just want to take all the parts, rinse them really well under, I prefer warm water just because I feel like it gets the rest of the soap residue off and it dries a little quicker. So that's what I'm going to do now, and then I'll come back and we'll take care of the PCBs. So hang tight. Okay, so everything is rinsed off. I kind of patted stuff dry. I will let this dry overnight before reassembly, just because I want to make absolute sure there's no residual water anywhere. I rinsed out this, and I have paper towels set out, and now we can start the fun part of working on these PCBs. So what I normally do is kind of get any big loose dust bunnies, things like that off of there, and I hold by the edge of the board. I don't ever want to kind of touch on the inside, just because your oils from your fingers can get on the board and cause some corrosion. So what I'm going to do is essentially just take my isopropyl alcohol and kind of give it a little spritzel over top of the board. And then just take your handy dandy clean toothbrush, and just like with the rest of the components, you just kind of swish it around, getting cracks and crevices, all that good stuff, and you just kind of give everything a good scrub-a-dub. Don't worry if the isopropyl alcohol gets in some of these connectors. We will flush it out before we finish, just to make sure that any debris that gets washed down in there comes out. So these get a little more tricky because you don't want to wash everything down inside of it. If you can see, like the memory card doors, you don't want to rinse it like this. So essentially what I'm going to do is soak it like so, like everything else. I'll go ahead and brush the back of it, brush the bottom, get the sides and kind of in between. And now I'm gonna hold this upside down while I brush. So any loose debris is gonna go down instead of inside of it. Sorry, I can't really get a good visual of this, but maybe if I had a camera behind me, that could work. I don't know. Maybe I'll just make this place like a Hollywood studio and there's just like cameras on cameras on cameras. Oh, yeah. Good stuff. With your optical drives, I don't recommend dousing these in isopropyl alcohol. There's a lot of sensitive, like delicate instrumentation that goes on with these. So I would blow it off with compressed air and then take you a Q-tip and on the eye right here, just kind of wipe around the eye, which I'll handle that off camera. So everything's clean, everything's prepped. I'm just waiting on it to dry, and then probably tomorrow I'll actually be able to reassemble, and then I'll show you how good the thing looks. Like, you probably can't tell right now because you're a little far away, but man, this system actually cleaned up way better than I thought it was going to. I'm super excited for you all to see this. So I will see you in the morning. Alright, so it's been a couple days since I cleaned everything. It's all really dry, looks really good. Well, now the only thing really left to do is to put it back together. So to start off this process, I'm gonna open my beer here, find the edge. All right. So let me get my little screw kit here. I'm gonna kind of reorganize. I'm just gonna wing it. I'm not gonna use the guide, which is probably really dumb on my part, but yeah, it'll be fine. So yeah, it's that easy. It's a handful of screws, everything comes apart, a few clips, and you can take a very, very nasty, dirty console and make it look brand new, and probably even be able to fix some of the issues that it may have had. Again, this is not like a how to disassemble PS1 tutorial. This was to show you that you can take those really gross looking consoles you find at yard sales and whatnot and turn them into really nice showpieces, and ones that are functional. So I don't know who all this video is for. I guess it's for the people who are nervous about taking something apart and tinkering with it, and just keep in mind that if you get it for dirt cheap and it's broken, you can't really break it anymore if it's not already working. I guess you could technically ruin more parts, but I mean, it could be worth the risk. I mean, honestly, this thing a few years ago, if I was passing it by, I would have taken one look at it and been like, ugh, I don't want that thing in my house. But look at it now. I mean, besides like a few scrapes and scratches on the lid, I mean, this thing's almost like brand new looking. And it took a couple days. One day to scrub, one day to dry, and put it back together. So, I mean, truth be told, if you had like a air nozzle, you can make quick work of this, and I mean, it'd be less than an afternoon. So once again, thank you, Game Junkies, for loaning me this console so I can clean it up, make a video. I've got 2 more coming up that I'm gonna show you a little bit more advanced of a technique on cleaning these things. This was pretty cut and dry. I mean, there's no real major discoloration, but in the next video, I'm gonna show you if there is a lot of discoloration, how to bring that back to life. So definitely make sure you're subscribed and turn on your notifications so you can see that video when it drops. Well, I guess it's all that's left on this thing is to turn it back to Game Junkies and on to the next project. All right, I'll see you all in the next video. See ya.